I wanted to make a video showing some of the neural captures of fuzz pedals that I personally like, because I don't think there's been too much fuzz-focused content on the Quad Cortex, and I think that's maybe a little underlooked, even though technically the capture process doesn't completely support fuzz pedals. I'm not a fuzz expert by any means, but there's a certain kind of fuzz tone that I quite like, and these, I guess all of these are sort of that sound, or somewhere in the ballpark. I'm playing a Fender Vintera 50s Strat with single coils, so there might be some noise, surprisingly little, and in any case, if you try to preset with something like Les Paul with darker humbuckers, it will sound completely different, I bet, so you'll need to tweak everything for that, I imagine. Also, I mostly use the bridge pickup. Maybe I'll show at least the clean with the neck pickup, and maybe I'll try it some other times too. And also I modded it with a blend knob for the second tone. So there's master tone, I turn it down with a few of the captures, and also might blend the neck pickup a little with the bridge pickup. I'll show you what I mean at some point, or mention that I'm doing it. But yeah, here's the preset I built. Basically it works so that there's the 29 pedals EUNA, which is in this case is adding a bit of low end, since again I'm playing mostly with the Stratocaster bridge single coil, which is also pretty low output. So it adds a little bit of beefiness. I turned the volume down on the capture because it's a bit hotter than Unity normally. Then I have a Friedman amp model. It's said to be quite a dirty clean or pushed clean sound. So not really like clean, completely clean. Then 212 Zilla Fatboy cabinet. The EQ is just a small low cut and high cut, nothing else. And then there's also a Mind Hall. It's one of the cheapest reverbs in terms of DSP, and since I crammed so many pedals in here, I needed to save some DSP there, and also that's why there's the whatever it's called, splitter, I guess. It's just all going through the amp. The only reason it's there is so I can use more blocks. And that's the basic preset by itself. So this is the bridge pickup, neck pickup, sorry. This is bridge pickup. So yeah, it's right on the edge of like going into overdrive. So if you play hard on the bridge pickup, it will go into overdrive. But I don't really use like anything cleaner than that. Then there's some extra goodies in the preset. I like to use Octaver with fuzz often, and then also I like to use flanger. This is sort of, it's set to stereo, or the width parameter is completely up, but I think the amp plug and captures maybe too might be mono only, so it's not necessarily set up exactly as intended, but I like how it sounds. It's pretty mild. And even it's going to be even more mild than that with some fuzz pedals enabled, because they sort of tend to hide it a bit. But I just like that when you're playing sort of like the same power chord or same like note even, there's a little bit of movement from the flanger. Not a lot, but a little bit. Then there's these two, which are not fuzzes. There's the femoral array, so it's based on the Timmy, or it's based on the Jan Ray overdrive, which is based on the Timmy. So it's not terribly hot. And also I'd like to mention that if you want something around unity level, you really have to turn the level down. But basically it's just it's a bit bassy. So if there's some fuzz that is a bit on the thin side, I can enable this to fatten it up a little bit. And in a similar sense, there's also the, I think, exotic BB preamp, which is sort of, I guess, maybe tube screamer related. But in any case, this is said to be more brighter. This is the neck pickup, by the way. So in a similar sense, if there's a fuzz that is too thick or too bassy, I can use this to cut it a little bit. And also, since they are both set to pretty low gain, I can just stack both for some like more rock type of drive. Yeah, I can show you the blend of how it works on the guitar. Hot. So I'll add a little bit of neck. And here's with only the bridge pickup. And again, blend it a little bit. So I can just make it a bit more full sounding because it is, after all, a single coil. So that might happen at some point. But yeah, let's get into the fuzzes themselves. First I'll show this contraption here on the lower level. This was actually inspired by what I read that John Frusciante from Red Hot Chili Peppers does. So it's both DS1 model going into the Soviet Fuzz pedal. So that's the bass overdrive, but I like that one a lot better than the guitar Big Muff. I haven't managed to make that one work really at all. I don't really like it. The facial fuzz, which is the fast phase model, is okay. I didn't use it here, but that one can work, definitely. But yeah, here is what it sounds like. Oh, and yeah, I showed the settings. I've done this so that these are the defaults for these two blocks, because I don't really use either of them outside of stacking them both. So it's sort of like a pseudo preset where I can add those plugs and it's this sound. Let's try that with the octave and flanger. So yeah, that's how it sounds like, basically. Maybe if you, I'll try also with the exotic BB preamp, but if you notice this actually toggles 3 blocks, so both of the DS1 and Big Muff and also a gate, because this is pretty noisy, even with the gate enabled in the input block. Yeah, let's try this one. Maybe I'll turn this off. And let's try with the exotic and some power chords. Yeah. And then let's move on to the Black Art Toneworks Rabid Mammal. This is sort of a very pleasant sounding, very full capture. There's a whole set of them in the cloud. So all like different modes on the pedal and such. But this is the one that I liked. This is the lowest gain one. The others were a bit too much for my taste. So you can imagine if the others had more gain. Maybe for some like real doom metal. I'm more of a, I guess, stoner type of fuzz tone person, so those might work for you, so check them out. But this one was nice for me. I'll try with this exotic again because it's a bit thick, so see how that sounds. Maybe at the top 10 too. That one sounds really nice, and it's not very noisy, even with the exotic BB preamp. You can sort of hear I added the flanger here, but one thing I also like is how, at least with some fuzz tones, if you just do like muted strings, play those, you can hear the flanger nicely. Yeah, let's move onwards. Next is the Cornish NG2. Let's see how this one sounds. Again, very full, powerful. I'll try how again the exotic BB works with this. really nice sounding. Again. Then there's a JHS Muffuletta. Let's see how this sounds like. This is, again, a bunch of these sort of sound similar, but they're not quite the same. Especially when you're playing them, you can notice the differences. But I hope you can also hear them. Okay, this wasn't really similar to the previous one. This to me again feels like it would benefit from the exotic. And let's try with the full family. Let's see how this sounds without the exotic. Yeah, I guess this, I would always probably pair with this with the exotic or something like that, or maybe without the low boost EUNA capture, but I also like how that works. So in any case, let's move forward. Next is my own capture, the Fender The Pelt, and I did a few ones. This is the second one. Let's enable it. The EQ here is tweaked to match up a bit closer to how the pedal sounded itself. The capture isn't completely like identical, but it sounds like it's the same pedal with just something like the tone control maybe tweaked a little bit. So it's very close. And one fun thing I noticed is that the capture has a lot less noise than the real pedal. The real pedal is a bit noisy. But yeah, here it is. I'll probably pair it with the Mural array at some point, but let's see it alone at first. One nice thing I like about this is that even though I'm playing with single coils, the pole mutes sound a bit like humbuckers with this capture. Yeah, I really like this sound, of course, because I dialed in myself on the pedal. But it has a nice clarity, but it's still quite big and lots of low end and power and beefiness. You might notice that I use a lot of vibrato with the one string riffs, and I actually also like using just a straight up vibrato effect, but of course it wouldn't fit into this preset, and I'm using up almost all of the DSP anyway on both chips, upper rows and lower rows, because there's just a ton of captures here. Okay, then there's the Bose tone bender capture. This one is a bit different from the others. This sort of like upper mid or high-end crunch kind of. That I'm not like a huge fan of that. So I'll actually turn my tone knob down. There's this sort of like overtone almost, always with it. And I said I turned the tone knob down a bit. I turned it down to like 5. And then I think I'll use the femoral ray. But it's a different flavor, and I also like how this sounds with the octaver, because that overtone sounds different with that one. I'm also not a huge fan of this ball muting, but this is sort of one, I guess, flavor of fuzzes that is common. I'm not a huge fan, but this one is sort of straddling the line between what I normally like and that kind of sound, so it's okay. And here's with the flanger and octaver. Okay, power chords with the octave might be a bit too much. Okay, let's move forward. Here's the last one in this preset, at least. It's the Infatuator Fuzz. I think it's made by Green Carrot. I've never heard of it, but I just found this on the cloud. The EQ I tweaked a little bit to add more clarity, because this is a real force of nature type of, like, big, beefy and powerful. So here's how it sounds like. Yeah, also at least 2 options. Is this going on? Again, there's that overtone kind of thing that I mentioned. Let's put this back. And let's give this one a try with the X-Stick, because again it's so big and beefy, maybe that will benefit. not for the faint of heart. Yeah, that's a sampling of some of the fuzz captures I found on the cloud. So hopefully something here inspired you. I'll upload the preset to the cloud. My username is Fama, and if you download that capture, you should get all of the captures. Or if you download the preset, you should get all the captures in it. That's probably the easiest way. Or you can just try searching with the name. Some of them might have other captures with very similar names. But yeah, you should be able to find these. And do mention if you have any other like favorite captures in the Neural DSP Quad Cortex Discord, because I'm always interested in trying out other fuzz captures, and like maybe there's something you like and some other people like that I don't like. That's also valuable. But yeah, hopefully this was enjoyable. Goodbye.